Hello, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
I guess lot of them already answered some of my questions.
How synchronous of you.
But what I wanted to say is that over the years, I've done a lot of work on myself.
Yes.
And it brought me to a place where I found my highest excitement.
All right.
But as of late, I noticed what has been preventing me from going fully into my highest excitement is that
Yes.
a part of it requires me to tell my story. And I don't really like talking about myself.
Why not? I'm not saying you have to be egotistical about it, but if you recognize that part of moving forward and part of your excitement is sharing at least a part of your story with someone, if that's true, if that's really necessary, then why wouldn't you assume that it is in fact part of your excitement and not something that needs to be taken egotistically?
It's not necessarily ego. It's more so that I'm afraid to
That's
do it.
ego.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
That's
well,
ego.
Yeah, you're right.
I know. That's ego, negative ego. You're afraid to do it because you think you'll be judged?
Yeah, and I'm judging myself.
Of course you are.
So it's turning me into this cynical girl who kind of just, isolates myself and procrastinates a lot. And
All right. Then be proud of being cynical girl. That's your superpower. I am cynical girl. I can slay the best intentions with a thought. I can dampen the most wonderful dreams. I can destroy your hopes. I am cynical girl.
No, it's I don't want to be anymore. I want to be okay.
Time
with
to turn in your cape.
Yeah.
How about this? Being who you are, I sense that you can be, in a positive way, a little feisty. Am I correct?
Yes.
Why not be a little more feisty with yourself? And I don't mean this in a negative way, but I'm just going to use this terminology because it seems that this would be the clearest way to express it. Why don't you tell your inner critic to take a hike?
Okay. All right.
It's all well and good to pay attention to make sure that there isn't some advice there that actually would serve you. But if you've determined that that's not advice that works for you, you can tell your inner critic, thank you very much, you've done your job, but right now, I'm the one in charge and I'm going to make the decision and I'm going to stop judging myself because that's not commensurate with who I prefer to be.
Yeah.
Can you do that?
Yeah. I actually, a few months ago occasionally I get like out of body experiences, and
Yes.
one of them that I received was me standing before, I don't know what it was exactly, some guides, and they told me it's time to get over it.
Yes,
and
get
move
over
forward.
it. Yes.
So,
In other words, if you're going to be cynical, at least you could do yourself the favor of being cynical about your cynicism.
yeah. Yeah, you're right.
I know. That's why I said it. Is this helping you at all?
Yeah. Yes, it is. Yeah.
Do you feel a little bit freer to move forward in the way that you prefer to without fearing that you're going to be judging yourself? Or do you feel that you can move forward and even if someone else comes to you and you test yourself by having them act like they're judging you, will you know that it has nothing to do with you and pass the test?
Yes. I've done that before.
Can you do it again?
Yeah.
Can you do it again and again and again?
Yes.
And again and again and again and again. And just keep doing that.
Okay.
There's no reason to stop doing that.
Yeah, you're right.
I know.
And let's see. You probably answered this already, but since I was
Not for you. Clearly.
Since I was a kid,
Yes.
I've
You mean
always,
last week?
Yeah, and now a little bit. I have
Yeah, you're all
some
still
childlike,
kids. Yes.
Yeah, qualities. But I've always been communicating with guides and
Yes, of course. It's natural. Children haven't learned not to yet. You haven't been trained out of it yet. So some of you will hang on to that. But the idea is that you can develop that again.
Yeah. I still do.
Yes.
And I was sharing my intuitive gifts with people for some of what involves my highest excitement. I was sharing that.
All right.
Then I found myself irritated because people started to use it as a crutch instead of
all right.
fixing their own
But
problems.
why would you get irritated instead of having compassion for them to recognize that the only reason they would use something like that as a crutch is because they have their own fear-based issues and they feel an emptiness within themselves that they don't know how to fill? Anything you use as a crutch or an addiction is an attempt to fill a hole you feel within your spirit. But they simply don't yet have an understanding of how to fill that by connecting to Source, by knowing that they are self-empowered beings. So getting irritated with that reaction only reinforces the vibration of their inability to not get it. Yeah.
But I was wondering if it's kind of selfish because
What is selfish?
Well, because now I just I use it for myself. And in the case of emergencies, I'll tell friends or family to do something different so they don't attract.
You may always suggest to anyone your particular perspective. The only thing that's selfish is if you expect that they must listen. That's arrogant. You are there to give them an opportunity to see that there might be another option by being an example of it. Getting irritated means that you expect that they should, which cancels out the gift you have just given them. So you're not doing them any favors by being irritated. You're just there to demonstrate, to offer. Anything else is selfish and arrogant. Because you have no business deciding for them what they should or shouldn't believe.
Okay. It wasn't necessarily what they should believe. Well, maybe it was.
Yeah, it was. Let's be honest.
Okay.
There would be no other reason for you to be irritated other than that you have an expectation that they're supposed to listen, that they're supposed to get it. Just think how irritated we would be.
Oh, yeah.
For all the people on your planet that don't get what we're saying.
I know, I spoke to you 3 times, so I can imagine.
But you see, we don't get irritated. Because, and I know this is going to sound a little funny, it doesn't mean we don't care about you. We love you unconditionally. But we don't care whether you listen to us. I do what I do because this is who I am. This is what excites me. This is my passion. I know that because it's my passion, someone is going to listen and someone is going to get it. And that's the only one I need to care that gets it. I don't have to care whether anyone else gets it because I'm not doing it so you will get it. I'm doing it because this is who I am, and because it's who I am, and because I understand how this works, I know that some of you will get it. And that's good enough. Because the rest that don't get it aren't going to get it anyway from me. They'll get it somewhere else, and I know that too. So it's not like it has to be my job to make sure you get it. The one that will make sure eventually that you get it is called life. You'll get it eventually because you live, you exist. You'll get it. You don't have to get it now. There's no rush, there's no hurry. You're infinite, eternal beings.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Wow.
Doesn't that feel more relaxed?
Yeah, now I want to add my intuitive abilities back into my work for other people.
By all means.
Because I guess if I was getting a message and talking to their guides and they didn't listen, or I would get upset.
Yes.
But now I realize it doesn't matter. I just
And it doesn't
do it
help.
'cause I love it.
It doesn't help
Yeah.
if you get upset. You have to understand that getting upset is actually completely counterproductive to what it is you're doing. It's like saying, here's a gift. Oh, no, not really. Here's a gift. Oh, no, not really. Stop messing with them. Give them the gift and walk away. When you give someone a gift, it's no longer any of your business what they do with it. Is it?
No.
Thank you. Okay. So you're giving gifts, not ultimatums, not conditions. You're giving gifts freely. Does that help?
Yes, it does.
Thank you.
Thanks. And one more question.
Maybe.
My third one, right? In my house currently, you know, my husband and I were both into this kind of work. And when we do it, it works out. But I noticed there's like this energy exchange that goes back and forth.
Between you and?
Me and my husband, where
yes.
One of us will be making progress on our destiny, so to speak.
Yes.
And then the other will try to distract the other from it, like get.
That's how you do it. That's how you work with each other. You reflect to each other exactly what you need at that moment to test each other and see if you've actually learned what you say you've learned. Oh.
So the key is to not go back into the old vibration and blame each other?
It's not what happens. It's what you do with what happens. The measure of change is not whether the outside changes. The measure of change is whether you respond differently, even if the outside still looks the same. Because if you're basing how you feel on what happens on the outside, then your change is conditional. It's not really a change, and therefore why should the outside change? Because you really haven't. But when you say, this is what I prefer, and it doesn't matter what the outside looks like, now you've proven that you've changed, and when you've proven you've changed, the outside usually changes. Not because you need it to, just because the outside has no choice but to change when you have actually changed, when you've proven you've changed by not caring whether the reflection changes or not. Make sense?
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks.